Did you make me a presenter to show slides?
Yes, we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, friends and colleagues from across the world. Today, we have a special guest for our weekend podinar, Mr. Ash Mufari, who has joined us to discuss AI technology. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Mufari.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
So a little bit of background introduction on you and who you are and what you do to our audience. Mr. Mufari has created some AI technology and it's a pioneering technology in the business landscape. His decades of experience in business and technology have triggered him to innovate and develop disruptive technology for the business world. OnPassive is an organization that builds AI-based products and delivers them to the world of aspiring business persons. The aspiring business persons can utilize the technology and milk them to create automated businesses, which are essentially money-making machineries that can alleviate the financial positions of millions around the world. Even most of common persons without any technical knowledge can overcome the challenge of roughing a technology company and be successful at it. The business established via the AI platform delivers consistent yet growing results that are homogeneous and can boost the financial positions of many around the world. Ash Mufari has not only innovated with AI technology, but also mentors aspiring business leaders with his business and technological background. The leaders can take the help of available resources and build their businesses and stay financially independent and free for the rest of their lives. They can retire early and spend the remainder of their lives in exotic locations without having to worry about generating income for their sustainability. This is a vision that Mr. Mufari has for OnPassive, which I will introduce a little bit more shortly. First and foremost, for our audience, as to who we are, what our mission is, what we're trying to accomplish, let's go ahead and switch to a short presentation and begin our discussions there. So a little bit of background as to how we became to know Mr. Mufari. And we operate the doctor-to-doctor movement, which has begun as of January 1, 2020 at 01 hours. And the idea and the hope that we have in our vision is to enable doctors across the world via administrative, technological, and financial perspective to regain our autonomy back over the industry. You can find us on any of the social media platforms with the hashtag doctor-to-doctor. For updates about what we are doing and what we are accomplishing year after year, you can visit us on Facebook at Global Summits or any of the other platforms such as LinkedIn, Instagram, and so on to learn about what we do and where we have gone and what we have accomplished as far. One of our many projects was the world's top 100 doctors, which is now has expanded into something much different than just 100 doctors. Currently, we have expanded to over 120 countries with 600 representatives that have been elected from the noble professions, including optometry, pharmacy, chiropractic, medicine, dentistry, and healthcare philosophy. Our vision and our contention is that we need to be enabled as healthcare providers to provide care to patients. Governments, lobbyists, insurance companies, all these third parties, big pharma that have invited themselves into the healthcare industry have sort of taken away from us to be able to render care, to seek education, to expand by limiting our movements, by establishing rules and regulations that differ from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. But at the end of the day, healthcare, there's only one way to practice healthcare properly, with the patient in mind and our Hippocratic oaths that we have, regardless of these regulations, lobbyists, companies, management groups, everyone else that has invited themselves in to interfere with the patient-doctor relationship. In this day of technology, where we have all of these tools available to us, we can enable each other in not just in education, but in administrative tasks. We don't need outsiders to run successful businesses and practices. We need to use and utilize what technology offers us today to accomplish that. I invite you guys to send us doctors that are have the same vision as we do, that they want to be independent thinkers, they want to exercise autonomy, and they want to maintain the patient-doctor relationship at any cost. That is where it started. We have been providing care for thousands of years to patients. We never needed these third parties, and we continue to do so, but it's getting harder and harder. And pricing. These people come into our industry, they see a lucrative industry, and they create all these rules so they can profit and benefit for themselves. But the fact of the matter is they're unneeded, unwelcomed. And we intend to change that on a global scale. We invite you to bring us doctors that wish to be part of this movement, which is essentially enabling us to enable them to enable patients. That's our sole interest. You can go to Top 100 Doc and submit nominations, self-nominations as any doctor as we grow this across the world. One of our other projects is the Universal School of Health. So when we started thinking about launching a university of global magnitude, where people who cannot travel, don't have access to resources, the time, can come and learn based on technological tools that we can offer, where we take the didactic material out of the classroom, and soon, hopefully, with possibilities in the metaverse, to train and educate our colleagues in various healthcare disciplines. That's a work in progress. We start with the Doctor of Business Administration. Doctor of Business Administration is about enabling doctors to become better business people, because they're laughing at us. They say that if you're not good at business, you don't get any teachings in these professional schools by design. And that's half of the equation in any business, including healthcare, that you have an acumen to care not only for your patients and staff, but also operate a sound business. If you want to hold up your head high, you do it yourself with the help of your colleagues and the technological tools that can be afforded to you as a doctor. So I invite you guys to visit the Universal School of Health. The first program is the Doctor of Business Administration, which will be followed in the years to come with hopefully professional schools, where we can utilize technology to the fullest and minimize the third parties' influence, and subsequently reduce healthcare costs across the spectrum of the supply chain. So what did we look for when we approached OnPassive? We looked for an independent platform with the visualization and hope and mission that they can enable people to get around all of this. If you guys remember, for example, the financial sector, when they came out with a blockchain, they eliminated a lot of the third parties. The banks started getting nervous because the lenders and borrowers were conducting transactions between themselves without all the third parties that came in and charged all of their fees and all that good stuff. It sent waves around the world. Now in education, we want to do something similar. We want to bring that blockchain concept to healthcare. Healthcare, if we don't have good healthcare, we have nothing. A country, the world as a whole cannot operate if they're not healthy. Health is very important. So this is industry number one, and we need to address this problem. We need to start creating a system that works for every healthcare provider across the world. We came to OnPassive. OnPassive was very exciting. They were exploring AI technology similar to the blockchain concept. So they intrigued our interest, and through one of our members in the doctor-to-doctor movement, Dr. Bill Williams, we had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Mufare in Florida and discussing our ideas on how we can possibly enable this scenario. O-Cademy is very interesting to us because with my discussions with Mr. Mufare, is you can sit in India, you can sit in America, you can sit in Canada, you can sit in Russia, you can sit in China, you can sit in anywhere, and you can exchange knowledge. All of these barriers that are set for us to advance as a species, humans, they are not productive. If we have more ways that we can teach and learn from each other without interference of special interest, we can all prosper a lot better than we have thus far. Increase our acumen, knowledge, information. So anyone can go on a platform, set up these courses, interact with a large volume of people, eliminate all of the red tape, and learn. There should be never any barrier to learning and teaching. That's just the crux of what education and science and everything that we have, all the conveniences of life come from. They come from education, learning, failing, reinventing, and inventing some more. So that we should never allow anyone to interfere or set barriers to education. Not governments, not third parties, not entities that have billions and billions of dollars at their resources, but just us, because without doctors, there is no healthcare. Without them, there'll still be healthcare. So the concept of O-Cademy is also interesting because there's a lot of tools that are going into it. For example, distraction detection. This was an interesting topic, which I will have some questions for Mr. Mufare. At the Universal School of Health, we are the first ones to have the opportunity to explore and test this new platform that's upcoming. And we will brief you guys as we develop more. There are discussions also about possibly creating a metaverse situation where we can teach and train surgeries, tips and tricks, all taken out of the classroom. So many can benefit from it as they stay with us. So what are some of the key features? Multilinguality is very important to us so we can communicate with our colleagues. And having the ability to quickly access, put on courses, and get the audience to be able to participate. Category-wide selections where you can, at your disposal, pick a course or pick a program, pick an MBA, whatever it may be, that you have quick access and you can get the education that you need and be able to live the kind of life that you eventually want and help others. Number one, I have an MBA in international business. The only thing I remember from the program is if you take care of the other person's needs first, your needs will be taken care of. That is the number one rule in business. So in order to be able to take care of other people's needs, you need knowledge and information and education and training and fail and try. You may be able to accomplish that on this platform once it's up and going. With that said, my friends, you know our mission. We are solely interested in enabling doctors and patients, and we're solely interested in finding ways to do so. And today, Mr. Mufare will give us a little bit more insight as to the O-Cademy. We will go through his presentation. Then thereafter, we have a host of questions for him also on the progress of OnPassive, which he has had the ability, and I gotta give it my hats off to you, Mr. Mufare. I've had over 300 very high-profile individuals on this show, and yet to have a person that has been had the ability to generate a following of over 1 million paid founders. I think it's over 1.2 million now. And maybe you can inform us more of how you accomplished that and where your vision is with this technology outside of healthcare, inside of healthcare, and let our audience know your thoughts, and we'll take the questions thereafter.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. It is an honor to be here. I am excited. I am thrilled. This is absolutely a fresh of a breath, and I think I'm going to try to go faster on the slice and the presentation because I get more excited as we go dynamically to dive in more of our innovative thoughts and ideas. I think that would be a breakthrough. So as a treat for all those who made the time, it's a Sunday, Super Bowl, snow in some areas of the country, late in other parts of the world, and as appreciation, we're going to make this worthwhile. What Dr. Shah is saying, I'm the only not medical doctor to be invited on this platform, which is a privilege. And we definitely enjoyed our time in Orlando when we met, and looking for the next time. I do appreciate everything you're doing. Knowledge is power. Doctors are some of the most knowledgeable people, obviously, and we are honored to be an assistance to them in every technological way to make their life easier and be the bridge between patients and students, ultimately the doctors. So it's a great project. O-Cademy, just like every superior technology that we do, it is with on passive standards. We set a very high bar and we went to work. And oh boy, did we nail it. Now, I am going to show you some slides just to refresh your memory for those who have been with us to understand what's coming. But before I get to there, to make this really respectful to your time and intelligence and give you what you're looking for and give you right off the gate the status of O-Cademy. We are in the final stages of the development, a couple more sprints, which usually takes 2 to 3 weeks each one. And then we go to the testing phases, as you know. And you will be among the first as the universal the doctors of health, and at the same time, or your school of health, and at the same time, all the Unpassive founders would be among us the first to try it, to see it, to test it, and we continue the game. So let's get going. Just to show you a brief. I show a full slideshow here.
Don't have you yet. Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah, just trying to okay, I think it's visible enough, so we don't spend time on that. So today we're going to talk about one of our cornerstones of Unpassive, very revolutionary product that is O-Cademy. And just to connect with you on a personal level, I will tell you why I came up with the idea of O-Cademy. I myself constantly pursue for higher level of education in different areas, not necessarily the diplomas and degrees and formal education, but I strive for a higher level of knowledge and purpose. Now, same thing in my family. We don't want to be limited to a geographical region where we're stuck at a place and then have, thank you, you could put it there. And just have, you know, our life goes around the, just a second here, please. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
We don't want to have our life just based on this the school and the educational system that is available in the area. We thought early on in our family that wouldn't it be amazing if we broaden our possibilities and navigate and sift through more selective education all across the globe, and we don't have to be living in a specific residential area. And that's how we came up with the idea of unlimiting the educational sources. Now, we didn't come up with the idea of e-learning, but we took it to a higher level. I explained to you why in O-Cademy. We took it to a much newer standards in the e-learning industry. Perhaps there are a couple of things that you want to know. In e-learning, there are a couple of forms. We don't want to go by the technological terms, there is a synchronous and asynchronous, and there's a blended combination, meaning in plain English, there are some platforms or some features that you would have to you could do them live, like for example, like a live webinar. This Podinar, for example, it's a form of live interactive education. And there is also the recorded, which is on demand. But the blended one is what we're interested in and on passive. As O-Cademy, it gives you the ability of all of those in one place, and that is rare. It's not yet there. Now, this is what we will give you in O-Cademy, aside from the basic standards in the e-learning industry, which is a massive industry, by the way. But we're taking it to a new level of features and technology where it will be more interesting and more dynamic. So there are so many benefits about online education and in general e-learning. But think of this. Number one is cost effective. Think of this. It is more beyond the borders. There's no limit for how far where you could go and all of that. It is really scalable. You're not limited to a certain place. Also, it is safer. I mean, let's not limited to bully and all the funny stuff that happens. And that is not going to be the case when we do e-learning. It gives you the visual aspect. You could learn at your pace. You don't have to go, so some of us are more talented and more gifted than others. And obviously, that's a good thing that we all would have the same opportunity of observing the knowledge and the education. So you would have the flexibility of time. If you have a career, if you have your lifestyle doesn't permit you to be in school. Hey, I love the fact that myself, okay, I'm in Boston right now, Massachusetts. It's snowing outside. You have no idea how many times I said, if I could tolerate the the weather condition, I would never stop enrolling into programs in MIT, in Harvard University. I'm just thirsty for more knowledge. Okay, it doesn't have to be the formal education where you get a course and all of the program 3-5 years or so. I'm more about selective education. It's a massive. Obviously, you're interested in the market cap of the e-learning. I think if you combine traditional education, the traditional e-learning as of now before on passive, you're talking about close, or if it doesn't exceed, $1 trillion plus globally. So this would be interesting when we see how this will be justified when we have on passive in the game. Now, we can talk about the benefits of O-Cademy, why it's unique, why it focuses on the special skills of people and connecting them around the globe. We already have close to 1,200,000 individuals from literally 200 countries, if not more, around the globe. I mean, every country, obviously. And there is a good chance that each one of them would be interested in acquiring a little bit more knowledge. It doesn't have to be something traditional. It could be a hobby. It could be about cooking. It could be cooking, music. It could be about health. It could be about remedies. It could be yoga. It could be so. Classes will be broadened as we go to O-Cademy. And if you are watching, or you have or been watching, or if you have any relative, or if not yourself, involved in the educational system anywhere in the globe, there's some of the most underpaid individuals. And this is where we want to have a lucrative, fair, systematic way where everyone would have a fair chance to meet up the cost of living according to where they live without a limit. We have set a high bar, a very sharp vision. We thought we are going to bridge the gap between knowledge, education, instructors, the educators, and anyone can share any knowledge. I mean, you don't have to have those big traditional certification, diplomas and degrees. You don't have to, but I'm sure you know something I don't know. And if everybody has the opportunity to exchange that knowledge in a friendly way and in a platform where everybody will be actually paid or compensated for that, or receive compensation by sharing the knowledge as well in the e-learning format. This is mind-boggling for how far we can go, because we pay so much for education. And formal education, what would happen is most people get trapped for a good portion, if not the longest part of their life, trying to pay that student loan or debt because of the education.
Ash, it's a very important point you're making, because half of my colleagues are so brutally indebted that they can never get out of that debt, for likely many of them for the rest of their lives. So education has become a high dollar business, and it shouldn't be.
And look at the other side, and yet tutors and instructors or professors or any teacher at any level, they're the most underpaid people of any sector. So how so we pay we pay a higher ticket for education, okay? Yet those who work in the industry or that sector, educational system, they're underpaid. Something is wrong. That's where OnPassive and the benefit of OnPassive come into place. Now, think about, we didn't start the idea of O-Cademy after the pandemic, but now it's given us, aha, we were on the right track. We really thought early on, this is the way of the it's going, this is the way in the future, that we can really have a safer environment, uncapped, with all the different tools and modalities that we invented on OnPassive, and reuse them, combine them in one massive platform that is O-Cademy, to unlimit our access to education, selective education. Perhaps there will be certificates and programs and diplomas are given from different institutions. So it's a great, massive project, but I think if we do a quick survey to what's available in the market, we are so far and by far the most superior, the most complete platform of every aspect. I'll tell you why in technicalities now, but just the benefits for both the financial aspect, okay, for the learners and the businesses, all of that. It just makes sense to, for example, think of a real estate event. Typically the class is free, but the travel is not free. Can you imagine you do a live interactive real estate event and you don't have to pay for traveling, hotel, or the risk or the safety measures that you have to follow? So at your pace, in the comfort of your home or anywhere you wish, you could get that program almost at no cost. And yet, for businesses, they can still utilize the other features and aspects of OnPassive for the marketing, so they can it can be lucrative to them, and it can be monetized, so they can benefit from that. This is going to revolutionize businesses in many aspects. Training, you don't have to travel in bad weather conditions, whether hot or cold, or any catastrophes going on. So this will definitely make it more accessible, more affordable, and it would make it more scalable. I focus more on time management, so we can get more in less time. You could be doing multiple things in one day, and you definitely can accomplish, because going to the traditional way, it will take a while. So all the components are in one place in O-Cademy. Now think about some of the existing applications. This is the blend I was talking to you about. Okay, now the most common one as of now is the e-learning, where it's on demand. Some courses, whether videos or audios or text, you just have access to them, and there's no accountability for those, and there's no excitement, and they die right there. Okay, so you pay for them, you get access, but how far do you go? Versus to where you have more selective, okay, and more customized education at your pace. You could have it any time of the day, but where there would be actual live class, okay, with the OnPassive tools such as webinar, all built in, all in-house, as we know, in one platform. So you have access to that, you give it, okay, live. If you missed it, or even there, you would have the recording automatically. You would have the text aspect, or any handouts, or any booklets, or any printouts, PDFs, files. So you would have that as well. You would have the doodling aspect, where you could literally have an interactive one-on-one, or one with many, in a almost like a whiteboard, but it's more interactive on the screen entirely, between students, study groups, or even their teachers. So, and then the visual aspect, the animation, the customization, all of that with the different tools we have, and the ability to market them, the ability to collect the payments, the ability to scale that and branch it off to more subjects and more topics. That is priceless, and this will definitely provide more knowledge, more education to whom they are in need. So there will be guests that would get a free lesson or a free class in OnPassive O-Cademy, and then they will be exposed to other and invited to other aspects of our OnPassive, the other ecosystem as we know it. There will be a different platform for the O-Cademy admin. It's literally, you are in a position to create a whole entire school where you have multiple programs, multiple institutions, and you have the instructors from different parts of the world. They don't have to be in one place. Different languages, the audio, the video, all of that, chat, live interaction, all of those evaluation. And of course, we've talked before about some breakthrough technology where we could screen the behavior of the students during the class. So everybody is definitely getting more. That's the whole thing. Everybody will get more value, lower cost, and it will enable you to achieve more things, not just to be, you're not going to have to be full-time 3 or 4 years to enroll a program. You could still do what you do and dedicate an hour or two from your time to complete that program or study. And there could be something like one session. There could be some, programs and subjects would be just a couple, So it is all dynamic, is so flexible. We have built all those parts. What you see now is where we're showing you where we are now, and what we will be able to track through O-Cademy. There will be live classes. Like I said, there will be a chat, support. There will be some coupons and gift courses and freebies, okay? There will be buy and sell on demand classes and courses. We can go on and on and on. Like I said, I want to try to go through this as fast as possible. We don't want to get more techie here. But you could actually have proper evaluation for your students if you are a tutor, or the other way around, and you can acquire that certificate or achievement degree. So the O-Cademy admin module, we're taking that to where you, again, I'm going to have to say it one more time, we're literally, think of yourself as a school admin or principal or academy, and you can go in any dimension, any direction you want. You could have one class, one time, video in any format. You could have unlimited of those. You could have different topics, different regions, everything is unlimited in any way you want to take it. So obviously, I don't like to call it competition. This is not my word. I just want to show you what's available now and how OnPassive would be superior by introducing the O-Cademy solution. So, but take a look at what's available now. The growth is constantly going up because it's just a massive market. And you could see the traffic, to those places and how many visitors they have, and the ranking. This is not going to slow down or stop. But if we do a quick comparison with O-Cademy, everything, yes, built in. So you would have, for example, like one obvious thing, the interactive video. Everything else, you're going to have to go to a third-party platform or another subscription, whether it's Zoom or WebEx or GoToWebinar, any platform that they have integrated with. But that's another learning curve, another bill, another distraction, another time wasting, activity. So with OnPassive, all built in. You launch a class live, and it's automatically recorded. You archive it any way you want. So one more thing that we will, once you have your copy of O-Cademy, this would interest Dr. Shah and the top 100 doctors, obviously, because they no longer would have a generic brand. They would have their own brand, as this is an exclusive platform, was built and customized for them. And it gives them all the abilities for billing, obviously through O-Wallet, and they're the heroes. Why? Because they're smart. They made a decision to partner with OnPassive early on. I like the fact that you don't have to go to another email account. That's another distraction. Okay, it's all built in. You don't have to go to an outside, whether some of them, they have even Messenger or Facebook integration, or this is WhatsApp, or that. No, it's all in one place with OnPassive. So we are definitely more complete, more advanced, more global, the most cost-effective throughout the different players. We never want to bring anybody down or disrespect what they're doing. I'm sure they're good at something they're doing, but we are doing it in a different way. We thought it's more fair, it's more effective, and it's more reliable. I think we're the only one that would be offering the micro learning. That's another topic on its own. But I think you get the point. We're not here to compete. We're here to provide the most value and to give a genuine, complete solution. Everything we do it all the way.
Excellent.
All right. So now we want to talk about, if you allow me, just a quick thing here, that a big part of the challenge is marketing and how tutors can get more exposure, or teachers to the knowledge they have. What bigger crowd than OnPassive and all the other aspects of OnPassive when it comes to the details of marketing? It's unlimited, okay, for how far we can go, because it gives you everything. It gives you the email, on your own domain name, needless to remind you that, okay, and the webinar platform, and it's not going to increase your bill. So you could achieve so much more. We're sending traffic also to your domain name and your O-Cademy, if that's the link that you want to promote and push. Don't forget, within the OnPassive community itself, I mean, before we even start, we're talking about millions, 7 figures number. Now, just a quick example. See how insane if a company would need to pay for their, a class for their staff, or a university for their teachers, or human resources. It can get really pricey. It can get really pricey to provide that. Now, wouldn't it be amazing if we can provide them a very affordable way with almost no extra cost, while they have their own staff, other aspects of OnPassive, no additional billing, just one bill, get everything, access to all of that. So we are in the premium or freemium pack, and as you see, it can go on and on and on. That's how you structure your revenue model. And just want to thank you for that. But I'm going to recap quickly, just without even looking at the screen. But maybe I can see if we could take a quick look. Remember what I said in the beginning? We said.
Which topic, Ash?
The topic that we are in the final stages of, if you see my screen, of the development of O-Cademy. So we certainly would have this, and we are so excited to be the application that the Universal School of Health will be using. And we're going to have more collaboration that we're thrilled, we're honored. We are so pumped up about that, because what better than this elite of group and highly profiled doctors all across the globe be the first to test and try and use the O-Cademy technology. So this is definitely something we're ecstatic about. So once we're done with the development, this is obviously the development part. techie people know, once we're done, we're going to go to the interface, UI, fine tuning, the look and feel, and unifying that with the other applications of OnPassive. And then we go to testing. So we're very close to that stage, which will be in need, and we will be having so much help from all of the doctors and their input, obviously, so we can definitely maximize the value as we go. That's all I wanted to say for now. I wish I could have done it faster. I tried, but it's just so much. So I can have a more of a dynamic conversation, but we will still do both.
Thank you so much. That was excellent. We have a lot of questions for you. It's a wonderful time to be affiliated with the doctor-to-doctor movement, and also with the OnPassive AI technology. AI is very smart. So I got a host of questions. If you don't mind, we can start going through them one by one. I understand that you have expanded your operation lately. For a few years, you were renting and spending a lot of money on data storage and so forth. Is it correct that you're now building your own data centers, and where would they be located?
That is so true. I did not expect you to bring this up, and I am really, really proud of how fast we're going through this direction. This has so far been, for big dogs and big players in the industry, but we are just so strong right from the beginning. So yes, it is taking place as we speak, and it will be done this year. That is definitely a stage. We never thought it would be done even while we're just launching and releasing the OnPassive products. We thought this would take a few years down the road, but we saw the opportunity, the need, the demand, and we just took action right away. So on track. I love it.
Will they be located in India or in your home office in the US?
So this would be cloud, so it would have multi regions. It will be in every continent.
Excellent. So you just recently launched O-Staff. For a lot of our viewers, they are not familiar with all of these products of OnPassive. They understand the AI technology will enable to reduce the labor supply. Two questions for you. Can you please elaborate on what O-Staff and O-Trim is and what it does in a very short kind of way? And also kind of let us know how you launch your products, and because most of it has been building from what I understand, and people are want to know when these products will be available in the marketplace.
Excellent point, and I appreciate that, and giving me the opportunity to clarify to our doctor-to-doctor movement, and at the same time to all of our OnPassive founders. To respect everybody's curiosity, this is how we do the process, but I will tell you the status of, or a little bit more on O-Staff and O-Trim, but other products has been completed as well. So first of all, you're going to have to do the the product analyst for exactly what you're targeting. You want to navigate if there's a need, a market cap, the demand on it, if it's necessary, all of that. So we go through the theoretical process for a while to gather if this is worth the investment, the time, the effort, and so forth. That's one way. The other way, so we sometimes we see things are really just not to the best standards that we believe it could be better. So we decide to make an improvement or do it differently. Okay. And for the most part, is the business model, is how I see things are really scattered, because I think up until now, there has not been an organizational way of blending all the digital random timing helped them accidentally, or somebody went after money, a different motive went after the opportunity, or so it's a chaotic environment. When on passive, we rather want to make everything in such a harmony and coordination, everything integrated seamlessly, and not so much about the profitability. It's more about the value. How can we improve the user experience, save them time, save them money, give them more values, and get more done in a shorter time. So we have a different way of tackling those products. But for the most part, we think we could do better, and we see the opportunity of having everything integrated in one place as a complete digital solution. O-Trim, as the name couldn't be any shorter. It has to be short, which is taking something complicated. If you go and copy an image from Google Image or a long YouTube channel or some other, newspaper, any publication, blog, and all of that, and if you want to share that, it's going to have some issues. So whether it will be blocked or black labeled or unattractive to the recipient, to the ESPs, the email service providers, or ISPs, internet service providers. So it's just not the best way of sharing a link, versus if you just have it in your own domain, personal domain name or business name. That would be more compelling, more attractive, more professional, and it will get through with less resistance and rejection. So in a nutshell, it's the way that we, I think we will be the first company ever to give you a customized URL on your own domain name, not just, trim UR or otrim.ai.
Speaking of, okay, this is actually another question that has come in. You had mentioned that you will be providing all of the founders a custom URL. Can you explain what that is and when that will happen?
Exactly. So like I was saying, any product that you will have access to, to begin with O-Trim, it will not be on an unpassive domain name. It will be on your selected domain name. The very first step when you register or activate your package or purchase from unpassive, it would be to select your own domain name, your identity, your internet property, your location, your web address. You have to begin with that. Once you do that, so the rest of the products, including O-Connect, including O-Staff, O-Cademy, anything else will follow, customized, personalized on your own domain name. So once you pass that registration process, it's hardly you would be mentioning onpassive.com or any of our domain names. It will be, so this is the best value. It strikes me how there's so much talk from the gurus or people trying to sell you different marketing packages, whether the information side of it or the actual traffic of it, and they do that on their own domain name. Or social media, if you're talking about the generic solutions as we know them today, and when we're talking about passive, it will be on your own domain name. So it's a game changer. I think it's the most basic ethical thing. I wouldn't go and build a business or any identity or any of my tools using a generic domain name. Again, it's unattractive. So rather, I want to have my own customized domain name, my own customized professional selected email addresses, and that is unlimited as well.
That's pretty. It's a very good concept. When do you think this will happen with the domains?
So this is going live. So you can, because this has to be paid for. This is basically the last fine hair between being a generic guest on passive. Somebody would just log into the dashboard, want to navigate or see some of the freebies. and once they book and register that domain name, that's it. They are, a pro from that moment, and they would have access to their, and anything beyond it. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you, we talked about this, Dr. Shah, before. We also give you, so not only that you get the registration or the web address, you actually get hosting for that instantly. So it's not then you go on your own and now shop for a hosting package or cloud or this. That's where the data center comes into play. Also, we give you a website instantly on it. So it's not going to be, doctor to doctor.com exactly. And it will be just, a blank page, even if it's hosted or some parked generic template. No, you're going to have a professionally done website every single 24 hours of the day. That's 365 days a year. That is every day, no matter what the weather condition is, what the war, status is in the world. It doesn't matter, because we will be way ahead, and we would have. We're using a good AI component that we are doing such a mix or a shuffle between. Your domain name is not going to look like Dr. Bill Williams' domain name in the same exact day, though we're providing that. That's where the passive part, we give you passive work, passive inventions, passive technology. That's what we do.
It's exciting. We look forward to that actually coming out, Ash, with the platforms, and hopefully you can let us know and we can bring you back on the show, talk about that. So another, sorry to put you in the hot seat right now. I got all these nice questions coming in. So when I met you and I sat in front of you, what excited me the most about what you said is I like big things. I like big innovations, big ideas that have an impact. You said to me that one day you were sitting around, you were looking at Facebook, LinkedIn, PayPal, and all of these different verticals, and none of them communicate together. So you put them on a table, you dump them off, and then you said, how can we invent or create a system where we get all the needs of the day-to-day activities of patients to collaborate with each other?
On a golden platter to the user.
Lovely, lovely concept. It sounds logical. But explain to me this. You're as a startup and you're taking on this massive undertaking. Google, for example, has over 100,000 employees. Facebook has like 60,000 some employees. How do you mitigate providing all these services? How many employees do we currently have at OnPass?
We're going to be very soon to close to 1,000, but most people focus on our Hyderabad location. Right now, we have multiple payrolls that are happening in different countries as well, more than 3.
So what is the justification that the AI is going to reduce the labor supply, or how are you going to service all this patient, these clients, these people that are?
I think about that too, because I come from the way I like to kind of structure things is like do the work once, and then replicate it and monetize it. Okay, so build it, then stabilize that. Okay, it strikes me why they have so many employees. Sometimes I wonder if it's a tax purpose. Sometimes I think if it's so much more on the business activities, whether account managers, billing, selling, marketing, all of the sales. Make no mistake, these are giants, okay? And I don't expect that we know everything, okay? Whether the Google, YouTube algorithm, or even Facebook and all of that. Facebook is not that, shiny to me. It's really not what we know. I'm sure, their business model that they need this money. If I'm able to do it in a way that I don't focus on the repetitive things, and I either automate that, AI it, and have the marketing done all at a higher scale, including resellers of the business itself, I think it makes sense. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to be able to sustain this business at the level of, let's say, 1,000 employees permanently. Okay, no. We're going to continue recruiting and expanding and having more building and more regions and all that. In fact, last time you and I talked, we discussed the ability of the virtual reality or the metaverse, and navigating different markets where they offer the best talent. Yes, of course. So I do believe the way we're doing it is more genuine and a type of do it once and everybody benefits from the work. It's replicated. So for example, like quick, since we just talked about domain name. So I'm not like GoDaddy, they have 6,000 employees just for the domain department. I'm not going to have 600 employees for the domain department. How so? The thing is, everything is done for the customer versus they're going to have to do a lot of billing and logistics, and so I think that's where they spend the time. So we don't have to do that. Once it's not complicated. I mean, it's complicated to build it, but it's easier to understand it and use it. It's so simple. Register a domain name. It's live. We're hosting that. Why do we need 6,000 employees just to keep it live?
Excellent. Very, very good. So you're gonna try to create a leaner system with less employees, and yet I think that one of the challenges that you will encounter as you launch your products, which 2 of them now have been launched, is that you're gonna have a customer service challenge that may come along with having that sort of a workforce. But if you can recruit and expand, you will operate based on the demand as it comes.
Well, let's talk about customer. So we decided to call our department Customer Success Department, and the reason is because it's not about support and crutches and all of that. It's about lifting them up to succeed. So we call it Customer Success Department. And number one, it will be worldwide in multi-regions, multi-languages. And we're going to have the traditional old-fashioned way, phone, chat, live chat, all of that, email. But there will be the O-Chat aspect, which can minimize the human reliance. And at the same time, just think of how simple it is. Okay, we just talked about O-Cademy. Why is it going to be one-on-one and hold handing, to every individual, let's say, to set things up if we're doing the work for them? So there's not much need for that. Okay, so if there will be just a small, tiny margin that will, some people still manage to mess it up. So we will give them the ability to come to our customer success. However, okay, there is a different unique component. We have leaders, we have founders, we have marketers. They will also facilitate and help and assist to give more knowledge and tutorials and everything. And think about this. Once everything is connected in the OnPassive platform in your own language, everything is done and run on autopilot for you.
Speaking of that, so the autopilot, you have 1.2 million plus founders. At what stage are you going to close the founders rounds? What is the game plan there?
Right. So that's how, for example, we overcome the large exaggerated numbers of customer support. Yet I'm sure we are going to have a big number, but we're committed. I love hearing that we're doing good with our customer success and assistance. Now, we are not going to have another 6 months of O-founders, okay? And as far as like accepting more founders, we're at the verge of launching a global marketing campaign. That's the first campaign of OnPassive, multi-millions, okay, budget, and that will last forever, okay? It is 16 months, the first refill, then it's refillable. If it's good ROI, this will be permanent. We are just about to share that campaign details on what it's doing. It's something unique, hasn't been done before with the market, with the company that we're doing all this publication. It is the largest in history. And this is not a small, tiny company. This is probably one of the biggest in the globally. So once we launch that, we already have products in OnPassive. We are just about to announce O-Founders stabilization, and then we will announce the end of O-Founders in the position as we know it today. But we will be marketing, so I want to clarify, and thank you for bringing this up. We will be marketing on that massive campaign for the founders, selling the initial technologies and products of OnPassive. Some will be physical, some will be digital, and all across. So I think it's an exciting time. As much as we adore the position and we enjoyed the journey with the founders, but you know, good things don't last forever. So it's time to go in a different direction. So we're just about to announce that campaign. That's campaign number one. When it starts, it will at the same time be in tandem shutting down the O-Founder position as we know, but it will be selling, and we are selling, and we are marketing and testing marketing for the founders only. That's an exclusive benefit.
So I'm going to take 2 more questions before we
Please
close
don't
up
ask
on
me
the
to
other.
leave, Dr. Shah. Okay, I'm loving this. I'm excited.
Okay,
And,
2 more
and I love your questions. Yeah.
2 more questions. Give me a rough estimate on when you think the marketing launch is going to go into effect.
A rough one to start?
The marketing campaign you just described.
To start.
Yes.
The starting point. Can I put a like no longer than?
Yes, no longer.
Like not in any way 90 days. Not in any way. Okay.
Excellent.
It's much less than that, but I don't want to put a time.
My final question before I close that out, and you explained this to me in person and on the phone, but for our audience, from your mouth, what do they do to generate revenue after all the products launch and they help bring this vision to life? How do they generate revenue? How does that work? Obviously, it's not an MLA concept, but it's different. So explain that to us, please.
Wow, if you know other aspects of OnPassive, so there's so many life-changing products, and mark my word on that, there will be things that will go down in the books of history. No joke. Mark my word on that. Okay. Along with the new, fresh, clean, organized digital ecosystem, the CATMO, as we know. So there's so much value in OnPassive, and it is so easy to share the different aspects. Now, in a nutshell, let's just go to O-Cademy. We just discussed now. Just the utilization of every product can be a source of income on its own. 2, the marketing aspect that we do for the subscribers and customers in one way, and the scalability and multiplication if they are doing other businesses and selling other products and goods and services. That also is all there. We have O-Mart. I don't know if you know that. Okay, so it's a marketplace where you could literally display and offer any product, any service you have in O-Mart, and we have O-Commerce, and we have O-Cademy. So the utilization of any of them is going to generate revenue. It's going to cut your budget, and as a business, as an individual, it's going to save you time, and it's going to also give you the ability to do that. But also, we offer a reseller program, sort of an affiliate for the business partners who like to share and sell our products and technologies. All right.
Sure.
And we give them a very generous compensation. It will never be matched on my like in my lifetime. It will never be matched. If somebody will match it, I will up it up.
You have great ambitions. Ambition is good. You know, what I always say, Ash, is that that essentially talk is very cheap.
That's
Actions
true.
speak louder than words. If you want to create something, you have to take the first steps and fight through all the hoops and the naysayers and the supporters. And I don't know, for me, when I first started, it was a long line of no's, no's, no's. And then over the years, the no's have all become sort of yeses.
Right.
So persistence, determination, and staying the course and actually delivering what we say is very important to us. So with that said, I really, really appreciated your time. You're coming up on the end of the webinar.